Good day, this is the Green Mage. I speak simply and accessibly about the complex and sometimes incomprehensible levels of spiritual development. Everyone is at their own level of spiritual development, and there is no point in comparing yourself to others or trying to figure out who is better or worse. Instead, focus on diagnosing your own level of spiritual development to better understand yourself, and you will draw the necessary conclusions on your own. Perhaps I will talk about this in more detail later, but for a better understanding of today's lecture, you should know that a human being consists of eternal spirit plus soul plus physical body. We are most aware of only our physical body. Knowing the soul and the spirit is not easy, and not everyone attains this, because they cannot be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, etc. The soul, figuratively speaking, is like a flash drive that records all the events during the life of the physical body and transfers them to the spirit. To better understand what spirit is, you first need to familiarize yourself with the definition of fractal similarity. Fractal similarity is a principle according to which the structure or shape of a system is repeated at different scales and levels of organization. Simply put, a part of an object or system resembles the whole, and the whole resembles its parts. Such structures are called fractals, and they can be found both in nature and in man-made systems. Examples: 1. Neural connections in the brain and the structure of the universe. If you look at a diagram of neural connections in the human brain and at a map of the distribution of galaxies in the universe, you can notice a remarkable similarity. In both cases, we see a network of nodes, neurons, or galaxies connected by threads, axons, dendrites, or cosmic filaments. This is an example of fractal similarity. A small system, the human brain, is structurally similar to a vast system, the universe. This shows that we are part of a single cosmic order, and that each of us reflects a part of the universe. 2. Tree roots and capillaries in the body. The root system of a tree branches out into smaller and smaller roots to nourish the entire tree. Just as blood vessels and capillaries in our bodies branch out to supply cells with oxygen and nutrients. Both tree roots and the capillary system are fractals. Their branching follows the same laws. This shows that the principles of life's organization are universal and connect all living beings with each other. The spirit is that very divine essence which is a particle of the Creator and is constantly evolving on our planet. The main purpose and meaning of the spirit's existence is to incarnate and gain experience. For it, this is an endless school. Each of us, through our spirit, contains a part of the Creator, and each of us, therefore, is also a creator. The evolution of spirit, in a certain sense, intellect. 1. The first stage of evolution, stone, inorganic life. It lies for thousands of years, exposed to the sun, wind, water, and this is the limit of its development. The spirit begins to materialize in the dense and learn to be aware of itself. Stepping beyond the dense, it realizes itself as a part of the divine. There is no soul in stones yet. Sooner or later, stones move to the next stage of evolution, plants, even if it takes hundreds of thousands of years. 2. From inorganic life forms, over time, comes organic life, plants. A collective soul appears, and primitive intellect. For example, a sunflower turns its head towards the sun. Of course, there are different types of plants, some more complex than others, and they have their own evolution at this level. The lifespan of plants is several thousand years. 3. Evolving further, plants move to a new level, animals, starting with the simplest organisms. The lifespan of animals is tens or at most hundreds of years, and their degree of self-awareness is much higher than that of plants. Higher animals, whales, dolphins, primates, are already close to the next level, human. 4. Human beings. 5. Angels. Certain states within our organism may not even originate from the animal world. They come from much earlier stages. Each stage of evolution lays its own foundation in the spirit and soul. Every step creates a particular setting or pattern that inevitably stems from the lives of our ancestors and past incarnations. As the spirit accumulates the necessary amount of experience, it divides into 12 parts, and the process of accumulating experience and growth for each part of the spirit begins anew. The number 12 is considered sacred and very important in many cultures and traditions. It often appears in our lives and symbolizes completeness, order, and harmony. For example, a year consists of 12 months, which reflects the natural cycle of time and the changing of seasons. A day is divided into 2 periods of 12 hours, which helps us conveniently measure time and organize daily life. In addition, there are 12 zodiac signs in astrology, which represent different personality types and stages of a person's life journey. All of this shows that the number 12 plays a key role in the structure of the world and our perception of time. Dividing the spirit into 12 parts for subsequent closing of each cluster of experience. Each new seed of the spirit takes a soul from the animal world. And when a person is born, it turns out that for the spirit, the soul, and the newly born physical body, everything in this world is new, and a new stage of evolution opens up for them. The 7 levels of human spiritual development: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. For simplicity and ease of understanding, the levels are designated as the colors of the rainbow. Development and learning always begin step by step from the red level. At each level of spiritual development, everyone is right in their own way, and there cannot be one single truth for everyone. Each person is right according to their own level of spiritual development. Today we will study all levels of spiritual development, except for the top 2, violet and indigo. Such people are rarely encountered on our planet, and for now, we are still very far from understanding and perceiving such beings. Our planet Earth is also an entity, vast and global. It also evolves and moves through its own levels of development. You have probably heard about the transition to 5D, indigo children who will be completely different. But for now, let's talk about the first 5 levels. Most likely, you have heard the term young souls. These are the red and orange levels. Yellow is mature, green and blue are ancient souls. Each level of development comprises 150 incarnations of the soul. The exact number depends on how much a person in a particular incarnation resists change, avoids growth, and passes life lessons. Some, like top students at school, complete the program by the end of the academic year, while others, like underachievers, repeat the year, learning the material from scratch again. Our physical body perceives pain and resists it, tries to avoid it, especially in modern conditions where a cult of consumption and happiness is imposed. But for the spirit and soul, pain is experience, a test necessary to move on to the next level. Red level: survival, safety, stockpiling, not standing out from the crowd, the group knows better, reliability, confidence, benefits, I am owed, guarantees, justice, absence of inner dialogue. A young soul comes from the animal world into the human world as a newcomer, and first it is necessary to survive, to create reserves. This is their nature, and it is essential to complete this basic level of development, without which further progress is impossible. Reds are those people who, upon receiving negative information, panic and immediately rush to buy up toilet paper, matches, salt, buckwheat, canned food, gasoline, etc., sometimes for a whole year ahead, even if it means spending their last money. Such people are very hard-working and perform tasks with a simple and clear algorithm. Social guarantees, health insurance, a clear and understandable schedule, mandatory vacation, all these are important to them. You must not stand out, black sheep, meaning you must not attract attention to yourself or the group. They often say things like, "What? Do you think you're smarter than everyone?" and try to silence any questions or behaviors they see as non-standard so that the whole flock survives, even if it means sacrificing an individual who stands out. Countries with stable economies, socialism or communism are a dream come true for Reds and the best place for them. They listen to opinion leaders, TV, and the government and feel pleasure when they are comforted and told that everything is fine and that we are the greatest, even if this is clearly not true. Their clothing should not be bright or flashy. It must be reliable and durable. A person at this level has almost no inner dialogue. It has not yet formed. The desire to join a group and be like everyone else prevails. Reds watch a lot of television, listen to the radio, talk on the phone, engaging in unsophisticated, often primitive conversations. External communication replaces inner dialogue for them, and they direct their thought processes outward. Internal analysis and independent conclusions are impossible without constant external communication and reference to authoritative opinions. The president, an actor, a celebrity, always looking for validation from outside. A special infrastructure exists for them. Long-running TV series with extremely slow plot development. Only then do they understand the story. For example, Turkish or Brazilian soap operas with 100 to 200 episodes per season are made for them. Religious leaders are also indisputable authorities for Reds. Everything the priest says in church or the mullah in the mosque is taken as an axiom that must simply be accepted without any analysis. Only in this way do Reds feel comfortable. This is their norm. For Reds, money is a tool for survival, not for development or enjoyment. It must be saved either for a rainy day or for rare celebrations, weddings, anniversaries, or even funerals, since the whole family gathers. The main task of Reds is to survive in a new environment, essentially with an animal firmware inside, and when this primary basic experience is learned and completed, they move on to a new level of spiritual development. Orange. Orange level. Learning. Interest. Inspiration. Vivid emotions. The colors of life. New ideas. Freebies. Imagine a person living in a secluded place, far from big cities, in their own house with a plot of land. They have built up supplies, created a safe environment around themselves, and have been living like this for several years. In this calm, reliable, and peaceful place, they realize that the world is not limited to their home. They begin to venture beyond their own world, to travel and see new things. The orange level is about expanding one's worldview and perspective. A person wants more emotions. Interest awakens as a new sense organ. The palette of life's colors becomes brighter, and their previous worldview fades into the background. The orange level is often associated with youth, high school seniors, or college years. It's about people who are part of subcultures such as punks or hippies, sports fans, and extreme sports enthusiasts, where a person wants to stand out, to be different from everyone else. While young souls may spend their whole lives at the red level of development and even more than one incarnation, more mature souls, having gone through the red level in their youth, change their worldview at the orange level. Their style of clothing, culture, and environment change. They start looking for freebies. They are not interested in long-term prospects but want vivid emotions right away. People at the orange level of development do not like systematic, methodical daily work. They prefer starting something new, getting involved in adventures, hitchhiking across the country, going on hikes, trying new hobbies and ideas, combining the incompatible. These are the what-if people who cannot be confined within boundaries. Typically, they are designers, creatives, branding specialists, etc. Such people are often late and do not always keep their promises. However, you can motivate them with freebies and bonuses. For example, if you come on time for 2 weeks, you'll get a bonus. And then their eyes light up. Instead of a career ladder and social guarantees, they'll choose a flexible schedule. Daily control only oppresses them. They are more comfortable completing tasks by a set deadline. Clip editing, laugh tracks, colorful clothes, these are for them. Oranges treat religion as an interesting activity. For them, Jesus is a bro. At the orange level, people are simply incapable of saving money. On the contrary, when they don't have money but get excited about a new hobby or idea, circumstances or unexpected income will arise for it, and they themselves cannot clearly explain how it all happened. Such people tend to take out loans and obligations for what they want, and then spend a long time paying them off. You can't tie an orange to strict rules, you can only interest them. They are given enough energy for all their goals, desires, and interests. But over time, when enough experience has been gained in pursuing small, interesting activities and pastimes, a person realizes that there are more global goals and gradually moves to a new level of spiritual development. Yellow. Yellow level. Achievement, power, authority, ego, goals. Showing off is more important than money. Studying ways to influence the world. The value of information. At this level, the ego subpersonality grows within a person and helps them use all available resources to achieve their goals, often at any cost, and without concern for morality or how it will affect the surrounding world. In a short time, a yellow can determine a person's potential and exactly how they can be used. When a yellow starts a job, the most important thing for them is to know that they will be able to climb the career ladder. During an interview, a yellow clearly states what specific steps they will take and how long it will take them. For them, it is important to have constant status growth and to seek an environment that serves as a point of growth. All world champions, Olympic champions, everyone who has achieved one global goal, they are at the yellow level of development. They choose one goal and go for it. For example, for a red, the most important thing is to ensure their own safety. They come to work from 9 to 6 and can become a boss if you explain to them that only by becoming a boss will their position be stable for a long time and they will be safe. A yellow, on the other hand, can achieve any specific goal without relying on external sources of information. If they want a perfect body, they will create it. If they want to become a boss, they will get there. A goal is the tool and foundation of the yellow level of spiritual development. Yellows know how to achieve, know how to get things. As soon as they achieve something, yellow realizes they can teach others to reach goals, so they create a course based on their own experience. People of various levels of spiritual development attend this course, but only other yellows can repeat the path, and then the yellow starts considering everyone else who didn't make it as losers. Reds become just reliable workers for a salary, while from oranges they extract new ideas during interviews or short-term collaborations, and then blame reds and oranges for their own failures. Yellows don't know how to relax. They go on vacation only if there will be interesting contacts who can help them achieve their goals, show off, or get useful information. An entire industry of labels and brands has been developed for yellows. When they buy things from such places, it's as if they are assigning that brand to themselves, declaring that they are part of this prestigious company. Yellows love studying ways to influence the world. NLP, socionics. It's important for them to categorize people and learn how to manipulate them. This is their tool for interacting with the world, feeding their ego. Yellows are those average students who are on their own wavelength, forcing reds, the diligent straight-A students willing to sell their time for a steady salary, to work for them. Yellows treat religion as an instrument. They'll bring in a list of demands like a prayer and make generous donations. For them, this process is a transaction, and they'll teach others this approach. Charity is an investment. At the yellow level, people practically lack empathy. They cannot get involved in others' problems, a dry, unemotional achiever. For example, if someone sees a kitten on the street, a red will take it out of compassion and raise it because they feel sorry for it, and that's what church teaches. Help our little brothers. An orange will take the kitten because it's cute. A yellow will take it and film a reels, raise it on camera, show how he takes care of it, and as soon as the camera is off, he'll move on to his own business and forget about the kitten. Our material world is essentially three-colored. Oranges make the world beautiful. Yellows create jobs and drive the economy, while reds learn to survive in this world and serve as the working hands, the executors. A yellow is always seeking status elevation and is ready to use any tools, even willing to start meditating. But neither meditation, nor NLP, nor psychology or other tools can explain what happens on the subtle plane esoterically. He feels it but does not understand. Sooner or later, the yellow realizes that the world is much more multifaceted and complex, and they move on to the next level, the green level: acceptance, trust, destruction of the ego. The voice of the higher self is heard. It feels like something is missing. Helping other people, master of their craft, incarnates for others. The green level is when a person understands that the world is much more complex than what is taught in school and university, that there are not only material laws of physics and chemistry, but also more subtle laws that they cannot directly influence, but which work nonetheless. The ego flows out of the person, and they are left one-on-one with the universe. Thoughts arise about what could be done, about creating something greater, but they haven't done it yet. There is an awareness that there is something ephemeral that influences this world. If red, orange, and yellow come into this world for themselves, the green comes into this world for others and becomes a master of their craft in order to bring quality and beauty into the world, to create something that will elevate people to another level. Greens are often people in helping professions. For example, if a yellow works as a realtor and wants to make $200,000 from a deal, they will close such a deal. If a green wants to make $200,000 from a deal, that deal will inevitably fall through. They will get nothing. But if a green makes their main principle helping people, such as finding the best, most comfortable apartment for a specific family, suitable in terms of energy, logistics, price, etc., then the green will receive money from the universe as an energy exchange equivalent to the help they provided. Green is about the highest quality service, about support and help, about energy exchange. Yellow is about services and achieving goals. At each level, their own circle of communication forms with different values. At the green level, empathy and compassion appear. The previous levels cannot comprehend this. They can only analyze the definitions of these terms through their own perceptions, mirror similar cases in their opinion, and say that they understand, but they are unlikely to actually feel it inside. At the green level of development, people bring state and beauty into this world, and it is important to them what happens to people and everything around them. At the green level of spiritual development, big life lessons arrive. Therefore, it is important to learn to relax, ask, accept, be grateful. At the green level, finances come only as an equivalent energy exchange with the universe. Therefore, greens need to constantly improve their professionalism in order to enhance their mastery and transform the world around them. When you are free from material power, you can receive everything you want. At the green level, it is necessary to go through the so-called point zero. It feels like you are losing everything. At this moment, it's important to be able to let go. At this moment, it seems like there are no friends left. Relatives fall away. No one understands you. It feels like life is going downhill. But the green understands that they need to look for answers to their questions in other spheres and communities. It seems to them that they are alone and somehow different. And this did not start here and now. They noticed it before but did not attach importance to it. Here, it is important to learn how to let go. This is the most important thing. Sooner or later, they find people with answers to their questions, and here, forget everything that was before. The old tools no longer work. You need to look for other tools for setting goals. You need to want to develop yourself instead of setting goals. Point zero is very difficult. It is literally a severing from everything in the past, as if the previous universe has died or ended irreversibly. And as soon as you let all of it go, you move on to a new level, blue level, creation, understanding the world. God does not punish, influencing the worldview of others, consciously changing the level of spiritual development of the environment. You are part of the world. A person begins to create all the conditions, helping all people to open up even more, not like at the green level, helping one, two, three, or several people, but helping everyone, hundreds, thousands, etc. They create a product that changes the worldview, like Castaneda, Zealand. They consciously change the levels of spiritual development. Everything that happens to a person is his experience, the path to growth, and pain is a spiritual indicator. Greens and blues come to this world specifically to change it, although yellows believe that they are the ones changing it. Yellows love both greens and blues very much, but they do not understand them at all, especially when greens or blues work in their company, change or improve it, and then leave. Yellows will always remember such people, because they never understood who they were. For them, they are like aliens, exceptions to the rule. For reds, a person who practices esotericism is not of this world. They should be wary, as if he could cast a spell, because everything that is outside the usual boundaries is not safe for them. Oranges may be interested or fascinated by all the knowledge of greens and blues. They may want to be a part of them, but they still lack experience. They may try to use tools, such as mushrooms or ayahuasca, to reach this level. But this can be destructive. For greens and blues, such tools are simply not needed. They feel the world on their own. Yellows like to use auxiliary tools because they want to achieve the same as greens and above. At green and higher levels, people can develop and awaken the area of the third eye, free themselves from pain and limiting beliefs, and even teach others to do this. As soon as a person becomes a specialist, the universe begins to send them clients and students. Green level is targeted work. Blue, work with the masses. If you need to change, the old soul will come to you, green or blue. If you only need money, you will not meet them. For the green level to increase its level of life, it first needs to raise it in its consciousness and adapt, calm down at this high level, and then blessings will begin to come. This level will materialize. The universe will bring clients, students, and create opportunities. Money is a tool for receiving benefits, a tool for exchanging energy. Information for learning and self-development is now available in the public domain, and there are many opportunities for growth and development. Green and higher levels can now find their direction and masters. But, for example, for reds, it is also technically possible to find this information, but they will equate representatives of spiritual professions with fortune tellers and charlatans. After blue comes the indigo level. These are monks, yogis, helpers of saints, apostles. They help all living beings on the planet. After the indigo level comes the violet level. The violet level consists of figures on the scale of Christ, Buddha. In our time, such individuals incarnate rarely. There are only a few of them. The proportion of the average composition by spiritual level in society can be represented as follows: 1 indigo 12, blue 144, green 1,728, yellow 20,736, orange 248,832, red 1,728. Yellows possess as many material goods and occupy as much physical space as 20,736 oranges and 248,832 reds combined. That's all for today. I wish everyone to determine their own level of spiritual development and to improve their attitude towards themselves and the world around them to become more conscious and happy.